Serious historians, marine biologists, and cryptozoologists of Reddit. As far as legends in history go, what legendary creature do you believe may have been real and probably existed in some way, or what supposedly legendary person in history was more than likely real? Beowulf, who is featured in one of the most important texts written in Old English, may very well have been real. The epic details what people Beowulf belonged to, the Geats, who resided in modern Götaland, and IIRC, battles which have taken place according to historians, particularly between the Geats and the Swedes. Most intriguing to me are the facts that the location of Beowulf's burial mound is included in the epic, and that there is what looks like a hill at that location in modern Sweden that has never been excavated. Changelings, babies switched out by fairies, were probably an early explanation for birth defects. Also may explain postpartum depression. Think about it in ye olden days. After all, isn't a mother meant to naturally love and bond with their baby? Like automatically? So why am I not bonding with mine? Why do I feel like a failure of a mother? Oh, maybe the fairies came and took my actual baby away, and I am protecting myself from the fairy magic. The Luska, giant octopus. It supposedly lives in the blue holes of the coast of Florida, and the amount of food and temperature of water both support the theory of an octopus living long enough to grow way larger than we expect based on our current records. I've heard of a hypothesis that states the Ragnarok myth actually describes an impact event. The Midgard snake could be an object entering the atmosphere. Many myths about sea serpents probably stem from more fishes. They look like sea serpents, are absolutely huge, live in almost every ocean, and sometimes wash ashore. I got all that information from a River Monsters episode though. So take it with a grain of salt. The Kraken. The mythological and terrifying creature that lived on the Nordic seas. The legend never clarified if it was a giant squid or anything else, but it's the most accurate thing. The legend may have been created by people divising the bodies of giant squids, 16 m long, and they supposed it was a deadly monster. The Kraken was born. The Norwegians invented high-carbon steel. When they were making swords, they would out the bones of predators into the molten metal which added carbon. The fact that they didn't grasp the scientific concept made it even more metal. The interesting part is that they believed that adding the bones to their weapons would imbue them with a kind of magic power, making the weapon stronger. Chupacabra. It has to be some poor sick animal with mange. Mange is highly contagious, so if a pack of coyotes or wild dogs got it, they would all have a weird-ass appearance and attack other animals out of hunger. There's a small population of albino deer in my area, and they are beautiful. Definitely ethereal looking and totally match the European description of a unicorn. Just want to say this is the coolest thread ever. I've been reading through it for 2 hours and I might be questioning whether to drop my dreams and become a cryptozoologist instead. I did want to be a paleontologist for the first 10 years of my life, so I wouldn't put it past myself. The Kraken is totally a colossal squid that grabbed a boat thinking it was a whale. Boats were smaller back then by a large margin. A lot of yachts are bigger than most historical boats. And the creatures that lived long were probably able to get bigger due to humanity not yet having fished the seas near barren and not yet having polluted the oceans with massive amounts of propeller and sonar noise. I think unfortunate people in the past with hair disorders where hair covers their body are the root cause of people thinking up the idea of werewolves. This, mixed with the likely solitary lifestyle they had because people found them scary, led to people thinking that they were less than human, and it wasn't long before someone said they were an animal, or at least half animal. The mythical kingdom of Prester John probably did exist. It's likely Ethiopia, but since information was passed slowly, and through hundreds of retellings back in the 14th to 17th centuries. It's likely the story of Ethiopia was mistold after some period of time and respun into the story of the kingdom of Prester John. The belief on the existence of dragons started in Slovenia, where a cave animal, Proteus, which is a blind species of salamander, would be washed out from the caves to the surface during flooding periods. People used to believe they were baby dragons, and their dragon mother would live inside the caves. There may have been a small population of Sasquatch-like creatures at some point, but I think the more likely creatures are the aquatic ones. Kraken and Loch Ness monster-type things would leave less obvious evidence, with droppings and corpses disappearing into the depths. I honestly think that a lot of Mesoamerican artifacts labeled jaguar are actually giant river otters, having had the opportunity to see a few. They're very real but may not be for long, perhaps the opposite of what OP is asking. Jersey Devil was likely a hammerhead bat. After scrolling so long I skimmed so fast that I read Jesus Christ was likely a hammerhead bat and really couldn't wait to read more. A lot of ocean aquatic-based creatures most likely do exist on the basis that most of the Earth's deep oceans haven't been fully explored. We have explored more of space than we have oceans. Best post Eve ever read. You guys have kept me entertained for the last hour. That's so awesome, and I'm glad so many people participated and raised it up to the #1 Ask Reddit spot for a while. Enjoy.